pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Mikey Kershaw pitches a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. 1-0. A walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Bobby Miller struggles again. Is this the last time we'll see Bobby Miller on the mound for the Dodgers in 2024? We've got a pitching update from Shohei Ohtani himself. Will we see Shohei Ohtani on the mound in the postseason? And the Padres getting closer and closer in the division? That's coming up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
Another payoff. Benny got him with a slider. Clayton Kershaw. It's Teoscar Hernandez. Mookie masked. It's a grand slam. Stop and game ender.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Thanks for joining us after the Dodgers lose Game 1 of this 3-game series against the Miami Marlins by a final score of 11-9. The Dodgers gave up 9 runs on 15 hits to the worst hitting team in the National League. It was another rough start for Bobby Miller, who went just 2 innings, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits, had 2 strikeouts and 1 walk on 65 pitches. That ERA on the year is up to 8.52. And then Michael Grove, he wasn't better at all. He goes an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. Lots of hard contact against him. Bobby Miller, Michael Grove, the truth is they just don't look like big league quality pitchers at this stage of their careers at this part of the season. And right now the Dodgers, after today's loss, the San Diego Padres, who are currently down 2-0 to the Houston Astros down in San Diego. Well, the Padres right now, if they come back to win that game, they'll be just 2 games back of the Dodgers, which is really just 1 game back because the Padres have taken 7 of 10 games against LA this season. Dodgers at 89-62, Padres at 86-65. So at the moment, the Dodgers up 3 games, but because the Padres have that tiebreaker after taking 7 of 10 against LA this season, clinching the season series, look at that really as just a 2-game lead. And if you look at the Dodgers in the league and the entire league, they're 2 games back of the Phillies for best record in baseball and the best record in the National League. But tonight was ugly. Tonight was just a loss where you have to wonder if it was the right decision to continue to put Bobby Miller in these situations where, quite frankly, it's hurting his confidence. And after the game, he told reporters that he has no doubt that he's going to work harder than he's ever had and that he's going to be back and better than ever. Well, that doesn't help the Dodgers right now down the stretch in a key game in a pennant race. And it makes you wonder if there's some better options out there. I mean, Ben Kasperius, Justin Robleski, Bobby Miller is just too many non-competitive pitches. The fastball is getting hunted. Opponents are teeing off on it, and unfortunately, this just isn't Bobby Miller's year. Yes, in his defense, is he at 100%? No. He's been pitching through that knee injury all season long. He dealt with shoulder inflammation. He's had an abductor injury, so I don't think he's at 100%, but the truth of the matter is Bobby Miller has no business being out there for the Dodgers this season as far as how he's not given his team a chance to win. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your big takeaways from tonight's loss to the Miami Marlins? We got Ethan says over on YouTube, Bobby Miller was a kid who spent 30 seconds on the water fountain. Don't even know what that means. I'm going to give it a bruh. Orlando, this is Max Scherzer's fault. That's from Orlando. Christopher says Miller to OKC, Robleski and Kasperius to LA. D-Mac, can throw better than Miller. That's from Abilene. Get that a bruh. We got Angel Escobar. Hope you're feeling better, D-Mac. Yeah, I'm getting better. Back still not that great, but yeah, I hope by the end of this week I'll be good to go. Be back at Dodger Stadium, and we'll see could Shohei Ohtani hit that 50th home run. Shohei did go deep. By the way, aren't you kind of getting sick of the Dodgers lost, but Shohei hit a home run type thing? It's great that he hit a home run. That's fantastic. And you love the fact that he's just 2 home runs and 2 stolen bases shy of being the first 50-50 man in Major League Baseball history. Of course, he's already the first 48-48 man, but we love round numbers in Major League Baseball. But, yeah, I mean, awesome. Hit a home run. Love it. And it's great. I love me some Shohei Ohtani more than anyone else. He hit a solo shot, a 2-run shot, after a Hunter Fiducia single in the 3rd inning to make it 4-2, 402 feet, an upward decker. And, yeah, it was a big-time blast. And you love to see it. You love to see Shohei Ohtani go deep, and it was a majestic bomb, but the same token, he struck out 3 times tonight. Didn't look great in his other at-bats, so Miami did a nice job in neutralizing him. But, hey, it's still a show bomb, and let's enjoy it.
Ohtani lifts a fly ball to deep right field. How far will it go? Into the second deck. It's his 48th home run in his hunt for 50-50.
A blast for Shohei Ohtani, and that cut the Marlins lead in half. The Dodgers were really in this despite giving up a ton of runs, but they just couldn't really seize enough momentum late. But Shohei Ohtani is getting closer and closer, and quite frankly, I just hope he gets this record, and so the Dodgers can really focus on wrapping up this division and really securing their playoff seeding. We got Metalhead Diecast, Jesus Sanchez went 5 for 5. Why is it that these teams make players and teams look, when they are playing horrible, look good? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Mookie Betts said it as far as this being the other team's World Series, and surely enough, look, I mean, teams played with the Dodgers. I mean, it's happened before. It's happened a lot in the past, but now it's even more so because of the stars that are on this team with Shohei and the additions to, I mean, Yamamoto, all these big-time players that are already on this team, and Mookie and Freddie, and all the hype surrounding the fact they spent over $1 billion in the offseason. So, yeah, it comes with the territory. But, hey, the Dodgers need to realize that. They need to play up. We got the Miller is terrible. We have to score 910 runs to beat someone with him pitching. He needs to go. Bloody Knuckles, Bobby hasn't been the same since the first Cubs series this year. Yeah, I mean, he looked great in his first start of the season. March 29th against the Cardinals, 11 strikeouts. He was great. And unfortunately, since then, through injury and just not having it, it definitely has derailed his season. I think for Bobby Miller, he needs to come to grips with his identity, and he also needs to really figure out the psychological side of it as well. I mean, he shows his emotions on the mound a little too much in my estimation. I mean, you see it in his eyes, you see it in his shoulders, and his body language, and the body language experts out there will tell you that this isn't someone who, when things are going bad, can dig to a deep level and figure things out. It feels like when things are going right, he's good as a front-running type of pitcher, but when things start to fall off the rails, they really start to fall off the rails, and you get those blow-up meltdown innings. And this one, bottom of the first inning, first pitch, strike looking, forcing fastball, trying to establish it to Miller. Then he falls behind. 2-1 the count. When you're 2-1 the count and you have a flat fastball or a slider or a curveball changeup that you just aren't landing at the moment, opponents are going to take advantage. And Edwards gets a leadoff single, followed by a Norby single. Same situation. Falls behind the count against Norby. 7th pitch, he's sitting on the fastball. He cranks a single to left. So back-to-back singles to start things off. And then Sanchez, he reached on an infield single to second, and yes, that was a tough play there. That was a tough play for Gavin Lux to handle, and that's what I'm talking about, is sometimes when things don't go right, Bobby Miller stresses out, and Bobby Miller is unable to really take advantage of just focusing on his stuff and focusing on executing pitches and really trying to get the next batter out. He definitely needs to take a breath, focus on the catcher, have that mound visit, and settle down. And you see in that situation how it really hurt his chances right there, because yes, it was hot, but still had a 320 expected batting average. It was 88.8 miles per hour off the bat. There still was hard contact. And then after that, Bobby Miller has to bounce back, and he's going against Berger, and Berger grounded to a Sanchez. On the Sanchez one, Edwards scored, so that made it 1-0. Marlins there, and then next batter, Berger, he grounded to a fielder's choice. They get Sanchez at second, and then Bride with runners on first and second. He's singled to center. Same situation there. He's falling behind the count. Fifth pitch of the bat, sitting on the fastball. They singled to center. So it's not like we're seeing doubles and triples and home runs there. It was death by a million paper cuts. Lots of singles. They were taking full advantage. And then he does get Stowers to strike out for the second out. Did a really nice job getting him to swing and miss at that curveball. But then Lopez, he reached on an infield single. They bat around on him. Berger goes to third, and then he gets Conine to pop out to second. So they get 2 runs on 5 hits there in the bottom of the first. Then bottom of the second, first batter, Fortes, he doubled to right, followed by an Edwards ground out. Then he's got the runner on third, and he walks Norby on 8 pitches. And with runners on the corners, Sanchez, he singles to center to score Fortes to make it 3-0 Marlins. In that situation, falling behind the count, trying to go with the changeup early in that count, just did not have the feel for it. The next batter, Berger, he falls behind 3-0 the count. I mean, how can you execute? How can you get big league hitters out if you're constantly 1-0, 2-0, falling behind in the count? I've always said it. If you want to be the man, you have to have the command. It doesn't matter if you can hit triple digits with a heater. He doesn't really have a very deceptive delivery. It's a slower delivery. So that fastball doesn't jump on you like normal 98, 99 mile per hour fastballs do, because the hitters are looking for it. They're hunting it in those situations because you're falling behind the count. And 2, it's straight as an arrow. It's not, doesn't have a lot of run on it in any way. And Berger, he grounds that fielder's choice, and they get another run from it. He comes back to strike out Bride, but that was it for him. He gives up 2 runs on 2 hits. So not a pretty outing for Bobby Miller, to say the least. And the bottom line is, for him, they need to get back to basics and see what he can do as far as contributing to this team. If that's going to be in the rotation, if that's going to be possibly a move to the bullpen, they have to figure it out this offseason. Back-to-back, Nate says, D-Mac, I'd rather have you on the mound than Bobby Miller. Take that as a compliment, but you'll get a little fire take from that too. He'd be great somewhere else. That's from G-Man Evans. D-Mac, how about Miller saying he kept the ball in the park? That's from Roy Estrada. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to give yourself a little moral boost like that and say you didn't get the home run ball, sure, that's fine, because that certainly has been the issue for Bobby Miller this season. So if you want to have that silver lining and say, okay, you didn't get up a home run, sure, but one, you're going up against the worst offense in Major League Baseball. They weren't going up against the Murderers Row Yankees. They were not. I mean, if you look at that team, as far as overall OPS in Major League Baseball, the Marlins, they're 29th with a 670 team OPS. If you look at home runs, the Yankees have hit the most, followed by the Orioles. Dodgers are third with 211 big flies this season. Who has hit the least amount of home runs? Marlins are 28th, third to last. Yeah, I better hope that you keep the ball in the yard against a poor home run hitting team in a cavernous pitcher's ballpark, which for the most part it typically is. But yeah, I mean, this season, Bobby Miller had given up 17 home runs in his first 12 starts. So, I mean, after giving up 12 home runs in 22 starts his rookie season, the home run ball has been an issue. 2.8 home runs per 9 innings. And sure, if you want to find that silver lining, fine. But the truth is that just was not a good start. D-Mac, are we cooked? From Rosemary Rodriguez. As far as, no, we're not cooked, okay? We are not on the table with the fork and knife, a big piece of steak, and you're ready to eat that. No. This Dodgers team isn't cooked. It's just they're trying to get guys to cover innings. And unfortunately, Bobby Miller isn't capable of that at where he's at with his stuff. And you just have to hope that Yamamoto and Jack Flaherty can be number 1 and number 2 starters in the postseason. They get Gavin Stone back. They get the other guys back as well. And look, there is a path to a championship. There is a roster that is a path to a championship, but we got to start on the micro on today's game. We'll kind of look big picture. Victor Banos, D-Mac, we have to worry about Lux's downhill in September. Rosemary says, can we bring up Ben Casperius? Look, we talked about on this show, there's other guys that deserve opportunities. And look, Tony Gonsolin, we got an update on Tony Gonsolin today. And it certainly feels like Tony Gonsolin is aiming for a possible return. And I think at this point, I'd rather see what Tony Gonsolin has at the big league level and at least kind of take that for a test drive before we see another outing from Tony Gonsolin. And the update today comes from Fabian Ardai of The Athletic. He tweeted out, Tony Gonsolin will throw another outing with OKC, 4 innings, but could be an option for the Dodgers after that, Dave Roberts said. Whether that's starting or relieving is TBD. Not a guarantee he's a postseason option, but they're keeping the door open. So that gives us 2 pitching options that we haven't seen this season on the mound in Tony Gonsolin and potentially Shohei Ohtani. And it seems like it's becoming more and more likely that the Dodgers are going to consider those options just because it's out of necessity at this point. You can't have guys like Bobby Miller out there going 2 innings and taxing this bullpen, because you say to me, hey, D-Mac, it's just 1 game in a 162-game season. They're still in first place. They still have one of the top 2 seeds in the National League, right? Well, think about this. Every additional inning that the bullpen has to pitch, it's going to add up. It's going to add up. And you see tonight when you got guys like Michael Grove who didn't pitch much better, but you go with some of your high leverage guys throughout this one. Alex Vesia, he goes an inning and a third. He didn't give up a run, gave just 1 hit. Ryan Brazier goes an inning, gives up 2 hits, had 2 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs. Brusdar Graterol looked good tonight, went 1 inning, had 2 strikeouts, and Daniel Hudson, he pitched tonight as well. So when you're asking your bullpen to cover so many innings, hey, it's just not going to work. And yes, they've done a good job, but they're the ones that are putting in all the work in the group project, and they're getting a B or an A. Bobby Miller, he's not doing his part in the group project, and that was evidence once again tonight. Michael Grove actually takes the loss tonight. He's 4-4 on the season. But yeah, I mean, look, we can talk about this all we want. The truth of the matter is Bobby Miller, I mean, if you look at his, I mean, just 2 swinging strikes. He got just 2 swings and misses in 2 innings of work. Just 2 strikeouts for Bobby Miller tonight. He ends up going 6 for 14. Not even 50% on first pitch strikes. I mean, it's all there. We know why he's not having success. So he's hurting this team right now when he's on the mound. And that goes to the decision makers. I mean, I think Dave Roberts and the powers that be that are putting Bobby Miller on the mound, the thing about Robleski is when he got sent down, I mean, he would have to come in for an injured player, which there's angles for that for sure. But you're really doing a disservice, I think, to Bobby Miller and potentially stunting his growth down the line. Bobby Miller pitching like his IG girlfriend cheated on him. Denny Cortez, what does that even mean? Stephen Blevins, Dodgers pitching will screw us in the postseason. We got Lux is lost at sea. Yeah, I mean, guys are going to go through their slumps. There's no doubt about that. And right now, Gavin Lux is certainly going through a slump. And he hasn't been at his best of late, and really he had established himself as one of the best hitters in baseball, really a top 10 guy since the All-Star break. If you look at Gavin Lux of late, we take a look at his numbers right now. Let's take a look at how Gavin Lux has fared. Last 24 games for Gavin Lux, hitting .203 with a .656 OPS. So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's hitting 138 in his last 13 games, so he is starting to struggle once again, and it makes you wonder if some of those bad mechanics that we saw early on, where he was not being aggressive early in counts, where he wasn't as connected to the ground with his lower body. So you kind of want to revisit those mechanics. You also just want to see how pitchers are pitching you, because they know that he's capable of having success at the plate, so he's getting more attention from opposing teams. And you're seeing that right now. When Gavin Lux comes to the plate, the pitchers are on notice, and they're definitely sequencing better against him. So he's got to adjust back. We got, we got G-Man Dodgers will come through at the end. You know this, man. JR, D-Mac, who's your Game 3 winner-go-home pitcher in the wild card series? So you think they're going to the wild card series? I mean, at that point, I think you really have to hope that, honestly, I'd go Walker Buehler in that situation. With what we saw from Buehler this weekend against the Braves, I think that definitely is So it cannot be overstated how big of a development that is, because it's not just, let's say, Landon Knack or Bobby Miller or Gavin Stone they were kind of trying to figure out throughout this year, and all of a sudden they put up a start like that against the Braves, and then you're like, okay, what do we have with him? No. It's totally different when it's a Walker Buehler, because he has had this level of success in the past. So I think it's a major development. 199 D-Mac's main back gave out for carrying the pitchers. That's from Keanu Reeves. Look, I'm fine, guys. Rosemary Rodriguez, Miller time is postponed until further notice. Maybe next year. Yeah, Miller time, not this time. And maybe next time, but he has a lot to work on this offseason. There's no doubt about that. Someone asked me in the chat, Michael Kopech, do you want to see him as a starter? And look, we know, if you know anything about Michael Kopech's history, he's someone that definitely will start as a starter, as most relievers, most in the cases they have. I think that it's obviously late in the season to think of him as a guy that can really just go out there and mow guys down with 3, 4, 5 inning start just because he's not built up. But he did say today on Foul Territory that it's, quote, on my wish list as far as being a starting pitcher one day. And he said it's up to the organization at this point. But he also said he's found a fit in the bullpen. So, look, I'll translate that for you. Michael Kopech finding a way to be a starter in his last year of team control, that translates to big bucks. And if I was Michael Kopech, I'd be saying the same thing, because the truth of the matter is you look at the stuff that he has. I mean, when you look at the adjustments that he's made, as far as since he's been with the Dodgers, he's really cut the fastball usage down by a lot, and he still has it in his bag, but opponents aren't just sitting on that fastball. And he definitely has a want and a competitive fire to move back to the Dodgers rotation at some point and move back to a starter's role. If that happens for him, that means big money, because if he can just be slightly better than a number 3 starter, he could land himself $100+ million deal. For him, though, you just wonder how many innings he could go in a full regular season. Would that increase his risk of injury? Because I think it's funny, all you guys, D-Mac, how do we reduce pitcher innings? How do we reduce pitcher injuries too? How do we do this? How do we do that? How do we keep our pitchers on the mound? And then you want to say, okay, let's throw a guy who throws 100+ miles per hour and move him as a starter, and let's see how that works out as far as keeping him healthy and on the mound, right? It's these guys only have so many bullets in the chamber. Remember, you can't strengthen a tendon. It's not a muscle. It just gives out. So, yeah, I mean, I think that if the Dodgers starting rotation is healthy, that Michael Kopech has a role on this team this season, but that's a major shakeup to think of him doing that this season, obviously. I mean, not enough time to really build him up, but still, in the future, it's a very interesting conversation for moving into next year. Hood, we got to Shane Rochester. Pitching is a luxury that weak teams rely on. We can let D-Mac and Decoy pitch. We are fine. Armando Casillas, D-Mac, you see Bobby Miller getting frustrated. I see it. His teammates see it. The opposition sees it. Roberts has to get off his analytics and go to the mound. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of frustration. I think that, I almost feel like Bobby Miller needs people around him and mentors around him that aren't afraid to say, look, I mean, when things go wrong on the mound, how are you responding? What's going through your mind? Because it's clear that whether it's a walk, a base hit, hitting a batter, his stuff, his effectiveness, it goes down significantly when he's pitching with traffic. And in the show, you can't have sustained success if you're not able to execute in those situations. So I think you need to check that mental component. Landon Knack told me the other day that this game is 90% mental. And if that's the case, I don't think that Bobby Miller's passing that test right now in his young career. And that's something that also should give you some encouragement, because that's something that hopefully can be corrected, because the stuff is still there. Bobby probably still nursing a knee injury, and confidence isn't good. Confidence is huge for a guy like Bobby Miller, Miller, and right now he just doesn't have a lot of that. Angel Escobar, I personally think Dave should have just kept Bobby in there. 4-0 was bad in 2 innings. Yes, they came back, but should have saved the bullpen. That's what I was thinking, Angel, throughout this one. At what point do you kind of just do what they did with Robleski a couple Sundays ago in Arizona, where you say, you know what, we're thinking big picture. A loss is a loss. And sure, at that point, you could definitely see that. But still, I think that you were also kind of worrying about the damage you're doing to his confidence at that point. Arpago 11, DMAC, will Kersh pitch again this year? I mean, it feels like there's a pretty decent chance that if they make it deep into the postseason, that could happen. Dave Roberts said on this trip that he's unlikely to come off the 15-day IL to make a start before the end of the regular season, but they are hopeful that he could come back for the playoffs. So do you really want to throw him in there in the playoffs without any pitching in the regular season? I think I would feel more comfortable with that if it's in the NLCS, when there's more margin for error than the NLDS. But I mean, the good thing is it's not his arm, and when he was healthy, the arm was looking good, and he even told us that, yeah, the arm feels really good for sure. We got John D. D-Mag, I have a great photo of you hanging in my bathroom. Go blue. John D, you're crazy. We need, someone had fun. D-Mac, what the hell? What's up, Mr. Classic? Kelly O'Shea, in his interview, Shohei truly honestly seemed uninterested in 50-50. He honestly seems to only want to win and help the team. JR, Andrew Freeman, and Dave Roberts' era has been a bust. Still TBD. What's the new giveaway? We're working on that this week, but definitely comment giveaway down below so you are eligible, and be sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. But getting back to this one, keep firing your takeaways, guys, down below, because we got Hello D-Mac, Bobby Miller, Jason Park, Jeremy H. Roberts has been given an all-star team and year after year and has one COVID ring to show for it. The upside, if we don't win the World Series this year, is Roberts will be gone next year. Bring up Edgardo. That's for Monster. You want to see Edgardo Henriquez. Los Dodgers World Series champs. Hey, D-Mac, what round will we lose in the World Series this season? Okay, you guys, we got the Doomers tonight, and I respect it. I'm not mad at it because you guys know all of the takes are welcome here. But back to this game, I mean, a Michelada half full take is you have to respect the Dodgers fight in this one. I mean, yes, it's a bad team in the Marlins that have won 56 games now, but I mean, down 4-0, top of the third inning. How about Hunter Fiducia? Give a little love to Hunter Fiducia. 1-2 count. He singled to right. Ohtani hits a 2-run shot to make it 4-2. Then a couple batters later, Freddie Freeman, he singled to right, followed by a Teoscar Hernandez single. So they get back-to-back singles to give the Dodgers runners on first and second with 2 outs. And then Max Muncy, he gets ahead in the count 3-0. Then on the 5th pitch of the at-bat, 3-1 count, he doubled to center. That scored Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman. And just like that, they already made up for Bobby's bad outing. It was tied at 4 apiece. The Dodgers get 4 runs on 5 hits there in that 3rd inning. And then bottom of the 3rd inning, Michael Grove gives it right back. Lopez, he crushes a solo shot to left. That gave the Marlins a 5-4 lead. They get 1 run on 1 hit in that inning. But again, then guess what? I mean, they were going blow for blow. They were exchanging punches today because Miguel Rojas in the top of the 4th inning, he hits a home run, a solo shot to left. That one right off of Sanchez's glove, and that already is a new career high for this season for Miguel Rojas as far as home runs go. As far as as a Dodger, because last year Miguel Rojas in 385 at bats, he hit 5 home runs. This year, 6 home runs. So 6 bombs for Miguel Rojas this season. So got to give him some love for that. He hits a solo shot. So everyone talks about his lack of power, but you're seeing more power this season from Miggy Rowe. That tied things up at 5. And then bottom of the 4th inning, Michael Grove back out there. He gives up another 2 runs on 3 hits. Norby doubled to left. Sanchez doubled to right. That put the Marlins back on top at 6-5. Then a couple batters later, Doc comes out. They go to Vesia. And then Vesia, he tripled to right. That run gets charged to Michael Grove. And Sanchez scores on that triple to put the Marlins up 7-5. Then top of the 5th inning, Freeman, he had a sac fly to left after a Mookie Betts triple. That scored Betts to put the Dodgers within 1 at 6-7 in this one. So it was a wild game. Lots of scoring on this one. Top of the 6th, the Dodgers, they had an opportunity after a Gavin Lux one-out walk. Couple batters later, Fiducia singles. That gave the Dodgers runners on first and third. And Shohei Ohtani, he struck out on 3 pitches, and he swung and missed at a changeup outside of the zone. So not great pitch selection. Didn't love Shohei's at-bats other than that upper deck 48th home run earlier in the game. So not a great night for Shohei. And that would have that better at bat there, and the Dodgers could have taken the lead. I could have seen them winning this game because bottom of the 6th inning, Brazier comes in, leadoff walk for Norby. Sanchez doubled to right. Berger grounded it to short to score Norby to add another run and put the Marlins up 8-6. Couple batters later, Stowers doubled to right to put the Marlins up 9-6. So 2 runs on 2 hits allowed by Brazier in the 6th. Then the 7th inning, Dodgers add a run after Max Muncy single to center scored Freddie Freeman. They get a run there to pull within 7-9. And then bottom of the 8th, still a pretty tight game. And then Daniel Hudson, who I'm starting to lose my trust for Daniel Hudson. He has his moments. He definitely does. He's pitched a good amount of innings this season in a year where we didn't know what we were going to get from Daniel Hudson. But he did not come through tonight. Sanchez singled to right, and then Berger, he had a whopper there. He hits a solo. He had a 2-run shot to give the Marlins an 11-7 lead. So 7-11 against this Marlins team. Just a absolute bad pitching performance all in all. And then still, even with all that, the Dodgers had an opportunity, trailing 11-7 in the 9th inning, to get back in this one. Shohei grounded to first for the first out, but Mookie Betts gets a 1-out single. Freddie Freeman flied to left, and then Teoscar Hernandez with 2 outs. He reached on an infield single to third, giving the Dodgers runners on first and second with Max Muncy at the plate. Max Muncy, first pitch, he doubles to right to score Teoscar and Mookie Betts to make it 9-11, the Dodgers within 1, and they had the tying run at the plate in Tommy Edman, and he ends up taking a slider on the corner, did not swing the bat. He strikes out looking to end the game. So the Dodgers made a little run late. After all that, still had a chance to tie things up, but still they take the loss in this one. So let me know down below, what are your thoughts on this one? Give me your postseason rotations right now. Thoughts on Bobby Miller. Mr. Classic, Bobby Miller has a mental injury. Send him to the IL, please. We got Richard Flores. What's up, Richard Flores? Bobby has no business pitching anymore this season. Kyle H. Dodgers are the biggest disappointment right now. What the hell is up with them? Always playing down to last place teams. Guess what? They won't be playing those weak teams in the postseason. Another first round loss. Wow, that definitely is some doom there. Right now, by the way, guess what? Bottom of the 6th inning, Padres and Astros tied at 2. So the Padres, they can get even closer and closer to the Dodgers if they pick up a game tonight on that win. So that things get interesting. Things could get very interesting. This magic number talk, I don't know. It's definitely something where you got the Padres coming to town soon, and you just don't know how the pitching is going to look for this team. It definitely is concerning when you look at how much this Padres team loves a chance to beat the Dodgers in any way, shape, or form. But the magic number 9 is, we'll see. We'll see what happens because not good. By the way, so let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. So Shohei Ohtani, he told reporters after the game when he was asked about the possibility of pitching in the postseason, he said, and this is from Jack Harris over on X, he said, quote, that he and the team will have a meeting in LA next week to, quote, discuss overall rehab progression. And they asked him, does he think that he could pitch in the playoffs? And he said, I am not sure. So you guys know this. I know this. Momentum continues to grow in favor of Shohei pitching for the Dodgers this season. It feels like that's something that's leaking at this point. They can't hide it anymore. Dave Roberts can't shut down the rumors. Andrew Friedman can't shut down the rumors. Shohei Ohtani can't shut it down either. It feels like we're going to see Shohei Ohtani on the mound in some capacity. I mean, right now, based on what they're saying, until they say, nope, it's not happening, I have to believe that this is something that they're considering. So that is a huge development. That's a huge development. It shows how all in they're possibly this season. I'm not saying that it's 100% going to happen, but yeah, I mean, think about that. Shohei Ohtani on the mound. You can't put it past the guy. You definitely can't put it past the guy. It's something that definitely, who knows? Who knows? I think that he is getting ready. I think that mentally right now, Shohei is going through these bullpens with the mindset of, okay, you know what? They're going to need me. I have to be ready. It's just a matter of, will they let this happen? Will they let this happen? I got this one's on Twitter. Miller on the postgame show. I thought I had great stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think Bobby's getting a little defensive in the post games, to be honest with you. We won Tony. It's from Eric Flores. D-Mac, give a Padres jersey out. The Dodgers are choking. I love watching you make excuses. I'm not making excuses. What are you talking about? I'm making excuses for this team. I give explanations. It's very different. I'm honestly I feel like I'm the only non-sunshine pumper that covers this team consistently. I mean, I think for me, when you look at this team and how they're formulated, I mean, they have one win in the last 2 years after accumulating 211 regular season wins. This team has to win. This team has to advance past the NLDS, or look, someone's going to have to fall on the sword and take the blame for it, because you can't have this much talent. You can have these many resources and not find a way to get through the first round. If the Dodgers don't get past the NLDS, someone needs to lose their job. Something needs to be shaken up, because at this point, you could make the case that the Dodgers have done less with more than any organization in professional sports. When you look at the fact that they have the best player in the sport in Shohei Ohtani, when they have given all this money out to free agents, you have to win. You have to win. I mean, baseball is a very difficult sport to guarantee anything, but still, they have to advance to really put the success stamp on this era. Daniel Clark, D-Mac, thanks for the post game. It really cushions the blow. It's a tough loss for sure. Josh Schuster, 1999 super chat. Starting pitchers need to be the focus. Bullpen pitchers have been coming in early in the games and have still carried the team all season. True MVPs, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that this bullpen has been gutsy all season long. And this bullpen definitely has carried the load. So, for sure. But at some point, you need to give them coverage too. And it's going that they need that 4 days off. They need that 5 days off there in between the regular season and the NLDS, just because of how heavily taxed this bullpen has been. And I think for me, there's no doubt about it that it's going to get ugly if you're not going to get enough coverage towards the end of the season, because you still need to hold off. And win this division. If you look at this bullpen on the year, I mean, they've been a top 12 bullpen. They haven't been the best. They're not better than Cleveland, not better than Atlanta, not better than Philly, not better than San Diego. They've been good, but they haven't been elite. And a lot of it has to do with the injuries they've suffered along the way, but I do think they're in a good spot right now with the addition of, you have Kopech the whole year, Brage the whole year. So it's tough to look at their overall stats and kind of make a judgment on it. We got enough with the B. Miller experiment from Jonah. We got a $4.99 super chat from Brandon Chang. Our rotation is still better than last year, and let's be real, the division race is good for us since we won't be cold going into October. We'll be okay. A couple ways to look at that, and honestly, I tend to agree with you. And I've been saying on the show that this team, roster-wise, is light years better than it was last year, with the addition of Shohei and Teoscar Hernandez, and a more rested Mookie who's played well, and a Freddie who's still one of the better hitters in baseball. And then you have Yamamoto and Flaherty instead of Kirsch, who was broken, and Bobby Miller, who was struggling at that point in the series. So, yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is a team in a much better position at postseason success. As far as kind of the October-ness of this all and playing meaningful baseball down the stretch, I would agree with you for sure, but we also saw it happen in 2021. In 2021, this team was chasing the Giants all second half, and yes, they fell one game short of winning the division. and they had to go play in a wild card game. They won that thanks to Chris Taylor's walk-off shot on Alex Reyes. They did beat the Giants in 5 games. But by the time they got to the NLCS, they were worn down. You don't want that extra game. You don't want to have to overtax your bullpen, and then your pitching matchup is set back. You want to have that's the big problem too. I mean, the Dodgers are in a position where they can look to a number 3, number 4 starter and feel good about it in NLDS. They need their top guys starting games 1 and 2. So personally, it's nice to play meaningful baseball, but at this point, when you look at this current roster construction, the injuries they've suffered, I think it's doing more damage than good in putting them in these situations. I'd much rather the Dodgers have a cushion at this point, because last year, if you had this roster with the rest, they would have beaten the Diamondbacks. If you had this roster with the rest, they would have been the 2022 Padres. So I push back on that take. I've heard that a lot of people using that take of late. I just don't buy it. I think that if you had these players with those teams, they're just different. And I think that they would have squeaked out those series wins. I wasn't a huge believer in those teams as far as their rotation as they were set up. I mean, we got Virginia Dodgers fans exist, bruh. What up, Rolling Thunder 77? It's Dodgers fans everywhere, all across the globe, not even just United States, man. Dodgers are huge, huge. I bet a torta it won't happen from G-Man Evans. Gimmicks all Dodgers can give now. Jinjo Star, let's just hope the Astros can make some points. Come on now. That is my ultimate pet peeve. We do not call runs points, okay? Save that for basketball. Save that for football, okay? Please do me a favor on that one. Do you guys have an issue with that? I do not like calling points in baseball. That's just not what we do here. Watch Ohtani start game 3 and go 4 innings. Angel Escobar. Honestly, if you're up 2-0, I probably would feel better about Shohei starting a game than having him come in a game, because if he's coming in a game, it's most likely to be in a high leverage situation. So if the command's off, things go right, you're really pushing him back. If he starts a game, goes his normal routine, and then if he doesn't have it, you still have outs to work with to try to come back and win that game. So I love that take. It's my favorite take of the night from Angel Escobar. Watch Ohtani start game 3 and go 4 innings. So if it's going to happen, I think that, that probably isn't the worst situation. Rosemary Rodriguez, throwing Shohei out there without throwing at hitters or sim games doesn't sit right, though. It doesn't. Desperate times call for desperate measures. He still has to go throw those sim games and bounce back properly. And I think one of the things, too, is is he going to go through that rehab process in postseason games? And that's a big question there, if they want to go through this and go through this route, because the wild card series, the NLDS, that seems a little far-fetched, but you have to kind of take into account the state of this rotation, because, look, the longer this goes without the Dodgers winning a World Series with this group, the cloud is going to hang over it for sure. We got BC in the chat. We got Mr. Classic. My Rams suck. Yeah, Rams. You think the Dodgers injury issues are a problem? Look at the Rams, man. I might be playing wide receiver for the Rams next week and starting out of the bullpen, maybe as a mop-up guy for the Dodgers too. We got no, it does not have to win. LOL. Winning happens organically and can't be forced. Carl Sumner says start with Pryor, it's now or never. Jack Geezy, Dodgers going to need 8 runs a game in October. Dino Bravo, won't be Dave, promise you that. JR says, I miss Ned Coletti. Read your super chats. Let's see what we got. Any more super chats? Grove, Brazier, Hudson. We can't be the Marlins, man. Are you talking about the Marlin man? Because the Marlins man. I got it. Landon Ack needs another good start. Absolutely, for sure. Brandon Cheng got your super chats down, I believe. Let's go down here. DWO, Dodgers World Order. I like that. Or, Blue WO, the Blue World Order. Wayne Rice, I think San Diego Padres will win the Western Division over the Dodgers. Dodgers will come in second place, and that will be a big disappointment. Keith Potter, we are tripping on the pitching staff, but there's no guarantee the offense will show up in the postseason. Joseph, these are games the Dodgers need to win because it's going to be harder to win against the Padres. For sure, Mike M. Doug DMAC needs to be in the rotation over Miller. Calling umpires refs. Philip Subia, no calling umpires refs either, okay? That doesn't sit right with me. Julio Alaman, $2 super chat. Bobby isn't cutting it. Bring up Jackson Ferris. That's a hot take. It's a hot take right there. I think RSU Ben Casperius as an option. Will Ohtani be pressing for 50-50? I mean, the longer this goes, the more he might press. I don't think that. I mean, sometimes you see some big hacks out there. I will say, and he did have 3 strikeouts tonight, but he's still on pace for 52 home runs and 52 stolen bases. So he's still in the comfort zone right now. Hey, like I said yesterday, if you guys watched the show yesterday, I said he would hit a home run in his first at bat. Turned out it was his second at bat. I did predict the Shohei Ohtani home run tonight. But my 8th series streak, I thought the Dodgers would sweep this series. My streak is over. I am going to be wrong. So the Dodgers can't sweep, unfortunately. They lost game 1 of this 3-game series. D-backs just lost. That's from Tony Ordaz. I'm not really worried too much about the D-backs. The Dodgers hold the tiebreaker against them. I'm worried about the Padres at this point and the fact that they're coming to Dodger Stadium and they're going to have a little control over that. I mean, the Padres have a lot to play for sure. Joe Rodriguez, D-Mac, do you see Honeywell making the playoff roster? I really don't. I mean, it's tough to imagine him in that bullpen. You still got Joe Kelly coming back, and depends on Gavin Stone's status and kind of what they want to do. But Bruce Starr is healthy. Daniel Hudson's going to make it. Blake Tryon, of course, going to make it. Evan Phillips and Alex Vesia. We'll see what happens with Anthony Bonda. They are hoping that he can come back by the end of the year. So, I mean, I like Honeywell as a mop-up guy in a big lead situation. You go multiple innings, but yeah, I don't necessarily see him there for sure. We got the Dodgers will win the NL West. Adrian Salazar. Padres still have to play our boys again in the division. This time it's in LA. Exactly. They like playing in Dodger Stadium, though. Padres have taken 7 of 10 against the Dodgers this year. Hey, D-Mac. Can I come back on? I miss you. Absolutely, Bob Nightingale. Thanks for coming on the show, Bob. We always love having you. And I heard you in the chat yesterday. You guys have some funny chats I didn't even read yesterday. Someone said, who was it? It was like VSA said, my wife could cheat on me with D-Mac and I'd apologize to her or something. I mean, come on now. That's a bruh. It's a bruh right there. Couple more here. We can't out-pitch the Marlins. We are in serious trouble. Yeah, absolutely. Padres are going to shame the Dodgers again this season. Just admit it, D-Mac. I won't go that far. I think these games have to be played. They want them badly, sure, but yeah. A lot of people talking about Bobby Miller. Yeah, I think, look, couple things for Bobby Miller. I mean, I think you have to give someone else a chance at this point. He shouldn't see the mound for the rest of the year for LA. And I think for Bobby, it's, do you want to continue pitching him in these situations and just kind of living with these results? But if you are going to do that, I think you have to leave him in the game and let him wear these losses, because you just can't waste high leverage arms. You can't overly tax the bullpen. You got to protect your bullpen at this point. So if you're going to leave him out there, you got to do it, right? That's just kind of where they're at with that. But, I mean, the positive tonight, I mean, the bats, they were swinging them. Betts, Rojas, Ohtani home run. Muncy had a good night. Brusdar Graterol looks like he's really, really finding it right away. That's the positive. The bullpen didn't have their best night, though, with Brazier and Michael Grove. And kind of the worst part was Bobby Miller. So definitely is not one to remember tonight for sure. So a couple more here, guys, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Look for me for Dodgers Dugout Live in the morning, actually at 12. And we got Hudson looks and pitches like he's 55, forcing to retire. Dodgers were probably shook from, okay, got some comments on that. Mostly mental for Miller. What up, BC? Guggenheim disposed of BSB. Are you talking about the Borbs guy, the BS Borbs guy on X? What happened to him? Anyone know what happened to that guy? Because I always liked that guy. Let me know. We missed the noon show, so we'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry, just one day. Just one day. D-Mac Yamamoto returned my kid's shoulder so Glass now can have it. The infamous El Guapo of the Dodgers. Problem with Bobby is the mental game that can be fixed. Why does Roberts give pep talks on the mound? Yeah, good point. Anything is better than Miller. Hey, D-Mac, what up, Jonas? Let's see here. The Dodgers need to send Miller to a shrink. Dodgers need a 10-man rotation next season for Paul Gutierrez. Nendo, 390. Dave Roberts has 1,000 bottles of lotion at his house. Okay. I see a lot of the that kind of stuff. Thanks, Elevando. Definitely getting better. Did Roberts give Bobby a hug? Miller, the human bobblehead from Carl. Yeah, look, things are looking up though. I will say, I cannot wait to see Walker Buehler pitch again, because if that happens and he pitches well, that's going to go a long way. Because then you have 3 legitimate starters that you feel confident about in the postseason. We got a Trevor Bauer. This is funny. A Trevor Bauer super chat. Thanks, Trevor Bauer. 199. Heard someone needs pitching. That's hilarious. You got me on that one. All right, guys. That's so funny. Yeah, come on, man. With all that money you got, just 199. Come on now. At least give me at least a rack. Give me at least $100. Come on, give me a bill. Give me a rack. Give me something. Give me $199. Give me 1,000, Trevor Bauer, and I will personally call Andrew Freeman tonight and check in on that. Dang, the real Trevor Bauer in the chat. D-Mac, call the 50-50 date. Man, okay, you guys want me to call the 50-50 date? I think he gets one more. I think he does it. I think that. So you got today's Tuesday, Wednesday. I think you got the Thursday off day. I'm gonna call it Friday. I think Friday he's gonna do it. Friday at Dodger Stadium, and it'll be big time. It's gonna be big. Let's go Friday against the Rockies at home, because he did the Grants. He got 40-40 on a Friday too. For sure. D-Mac, he's pitching in Mexico. What money? Come on now. The Dodgers paid him a ton of money still. Okay, you forgot the contract that he signed with the Dodgers. That was a big deal. So he can definitely afford a little more expensive super chat. I mean, the 3-year, $102 million deal. We know what happened, but still. Miller has elite stuff, just can't locate. That's from Unthink Unknown 26. Absolutely. Monster 5 shoeys for 50-50. Wow. Man, I got to think about what I'm going to do for that, though. Just give me that. I'll get back to you on that. Keith Potter said, D-Mac, okay, I'm buying Friday tickets. Okay, don't hold me to that one, but gosh, that ball's going to go for so much money. That ball's going to go for a lot. Man, maybe I need to ditch the press box on Friday and go to the pavilion and try to catch that. But I definitely think it's happening against the Rockies for sure. Orlando, what would you rather have, 50-50 or division title? Easily a division title. Are you kidding me? A wild card round terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me. I mean, come on now. And I think, look, how about this? I'm greedy. I want both. But if I had to have one, I'd take the division title. Rosemary Rodriguez, what would you charge if you got the ball? Man, I think, I would definitely want. I probably would want Shohei Ohtani. I wouldn't charge him anything, but I would want him to co-host 10 Dodgers Dugout Lives with me. Co-host 10 Dodger Dugout Lives, and then I get a Porsche, a signed jersey, a bat, a signed ball, and then we're good. That's what would you guys charge, though? What would you guys charge? D-Mac, can I dope my Rango said, D-Mac, can I dope my toe to Christianity? That's a fire take. We got G-Man says $500,000 right off. He'd rather pay you, Doug, BC. A play day with Decoy for Orlando. That's what you would charge. Yeah, what would you guys charge? You give him the ball and a handshake. That's from Busy. Season tickets for the entire Ohtani career. That's awesome. We got a translator for me. Thank you. We get you 8 figures for you. Yeah. Option Lux. No option Lux. Lux is fine. It's going through a slump. I want $1 million. $1 million. Can I get a hug? You guys, your Dr. Evil. I'll charge 7 figures from Alex Renteria. Up to the highest bidder. Rosemary says, I just want lifetime tickets, maybe a suite. That's asking a lot. Maybe for a season, for a lifetime. That's crazy money right there. We got the handshake and a picture. That's the classy one. That's the classy one right there. I like that. That's from HEIDG. Do you realize season tickets for his career, a signed ball, bat, and a jersey? Yep, absolutely. The ball will fall in the bullpen. There you go. I just hope a fan gets a chance to catch it, and I hope that baseball does the serialized balls like they had with Aaron Judge, so there's no dispute over the authentication. But guys, we got some more. I want Mary Hart seats from Keith Potter. That'd be nice. Ramily Ty says, I'm going to keep it. All right. Well, hope you got a nice safe at your house with maybe some overnight 24-hour security. But would be cool to have for sure. Shohei would have 50 stolen bases if Betts didn't swing. Ethan, if I get that ball, I'm donating to the Dodgers Nation, but I want a job. Ethan, boom. That's what I like to hear. But that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. Until next time.